80% of falls in the home occur in the bathroom. Don't put yourself or a loved one at risk. There's a safe bathing system for everyone's budget.
Enjoy a bathing experience that combines safety, comfort, and excellence. If assisted living is not for you, a BCI walk-in tub may well be the answer, giving you the safety and freedom to live independently. A BCI walk-in tub is the most affordable and comfortable walk-in tub in the market today. With our dual drain technology, your tub will drain quickly, and for those that still like the feature of a shower, our two-way bliss gives you both a handheld and overhead shower head. We offer the best financing in the industry with payments as low as $99 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months with approved credit. For comfort, safety, price, and selection, it's got to be BCI Walk-In Tub. Be one of the first 50 callers and save $1,500.
Call 800-354-4377, 800-354-4377 for a free no obligation in-home consultation.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news stories that happened in the sports betting industry over the past week. By the way, happy 2023. Happy New Year to everybody. Our first show of the new year. Full transparency, we're filming this. It's our last show that we're taping in 2022. We've got a lot of stuff happening over this past week here. Even though it was a holiday week, we had some interesting numbers come out in terms of the state and national reports. We've also got some deals to talk about. We have PointsBet and Bet99. Second week in a row, we're talking about a Bet99 deal in Canada.
Yeah, boy, it's
yes.
they're running gangbusters in Canada. So good for them.
We've also got a new state to talk about.
Yes.
We'll touch on that later on. We've got Ohio launching over the past weekend. We've got a new book in Washington, D.C. to talk about, as well as a new casino in New York State to talk about, not New York City.
Yeah.
Legislative roundup. We've got news out of Massachusetts, even some tentative news coming out of Missouri and Oklahoma for the upcoming year. So let's start right off and get right into our numbers. We're going to start off our numbers segment with some more World Cup numbers.
More World Cup numbers?
More World Cup numbers. We're going to be seeing World Cup numbers come out, I think, for the next month or so.
I think we're going to be crunching those numbers for a month now.
Well, this one is OpenBet, which is a sports betting platform.
Okay. I've actually heard of them.
They've actually reported some really interesting numbers. They reported 200 million bets placed across all its channels for this year's World Cup.
Wow. Okay.
$2 billion in betting over the 4-week tournament totally. And they also pointed to the England versus USA game as recording 5.6 million bets placed on that game alone.
I was very curious about that. Which game itself had the most bets? So,
as everyone knows, OpenBet has the Bet Builder, which according to OpenBet, the Bet Builder basically allows you to build your parlays.
Okay.
Pre-set up parlays, that sort of. There's all different ways you can do it with Bet Builder.
Okay.
They recorded that they processed more than 5 times more the number of bets for this World Cup than the Euro 2020 soccer tournament.
Okay. Well,
so a lot of betting was done.
Well, a lot more places have legalized sports betting around the world. I'm not just talking about the U.S. So, certainly that would translate into a bigger handle and more bets placed. And so that makes sense.
Yep. Speaking of the amounts of bets being placed, we just had Christmas not too long ago.
Okay.
And we had, I don't want to say they were competing, but we had 3 NFL games.
Yeah.
And what was that? The quintuple header by the NBA, the 5 NBA Christmas games. And
talk about a day for parlays.
Yes.
I say you always be careful with parlays. That old saying, they don't build your bankroll, they build the sports books.
But I had an NFL parlay. I had an NBA parlay. It was just so much fun. I did terrible in my parlays. I did better in my individual bets and my my player props, but not too successful in my parlays.
I'm actually waiting to see the in-play betting numbers from the Christmas Day games because there was a lot to bet on. But two books.
Well, first of all, I was sweating out the first NBA game.
Really?
The day didn't start off because the Knicks were doing great. I went with the over 76ers and Knicks, and I felt great about that. And I also went with the money line 76ers. I felt a lot better in the second half than the first half. So,
well, when you're dealing with the Sixers Nets, that's always a great game.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So,
what a great Christmas Day game at the Knicks. The Knicks are always a great Christmas Day game.
But for two books, they showed how popular the NFL is. You had 5 NBA games to bet on.
Okay.
3 NFL.
All right.
According to BetMGM, the NFL games attracted 3 times as much money than the NBA games.
Okay.
3 games for the NFL, 5 for the NBA. Caesars said 5 times.
Okay. Wow.
So NFL is still king.
Well, we're in a more dramatic time for the NFL. The playoff picture is coming into focus, and now everyone's doing that NFL math, especially with the Jets in my home state of New Jersey. The Jets have to win, and this team has to lose, and another team has to lose. And
Jets got a great Christmas present because right now all they need to do is win out, which I think that's kind of difficult for that team as it's built right now.
Well, it's interesting.
And also they need New England to lose 1 game.
Yeah, well, it looks like the Jets and New England are kind of in the same situation. I think it's best for them to win out, and I think they need a little help from other people, too.
The Patriots need the Jets to lose. The Jets need the Patriots to lose. The weird thing is both the Patriots and Jets have to go through Miami.
Yeah.
The Patriots played Miami,
which has a big
the
question
weekend.
Mark right now, so who knows?
Yep.
So.
And the Jets have to play Miami as the last game of the season. So that's going to be interesting to watch that. But since it was the end of the year, we also have some of the operators sending out their year in review numbers.
Really, I would expect that later on in January. To get all the numbers together and get all the spreadsheets.
Well, you got to look at what the fiscal year are. And everything
sure,
else, so.
sure, I understand.
DraftKings released some of their 2022 betting numbers.
All
and
right.
According to DraftKings, and I'm just going to hit a couple here. They sent out a whole list of everything. Only the Super Bowl in 2022 attracted more bets than the 2022 Masters.
Okay.
The Bengals-Rams game. So that's kind of interesting. I really didn't expect the Masters to be number 2.
Look, I am doing this show and doing another broadcast radio show. You get to speak with a lot of professional bettors, and I think behind football, golf is, which was surprising to me. Golf was the one that a lot of professional bettors and a lot of sharps are really focusing on, and look, golf is a lot of fun to bet on. The pace of it makes great in play betting as well.
I've actually come around to betting on golf more so than watching golf. And it's one of those things.
I enjoy betting on golf better than I hate putting together a daily fantasy
golf
thing for golf, and I do better betting on it than the fantasy. So I don't know how that works. You would think there'd be a. If you do well in betting, you'll do well in fantasy, but it doesn't work like that.
No. I found that out. Yeah. DraftKings released a whole bunch of different items. They did the most bet on player by handle, by bets, most bet on teams. By the way, in terms of handle, the Warriors, Golden State Warriors of the NBA, was the most bet on team in terms of handle for the year.
Okay.
The Yankees took the most bets.
Well, Yankees had a very dramatic year with Aaron Judge.
Popped them up.
That kind of drove a lot of bets. I'm not a Yankees fan, even though I live in New Jersey. I'm a Phillies fan.
Yes.
It's just the area of the state I live in. But even I tuned into a lot of Yankees games, and I'll place a couple bets on Aaron Judge and in-play betting and things like that. So it was, it kind of sparked a lot of betting in the New Jersey, New York area, even across the country, really.
And best win percentage for the book was Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Iowa was the top state in the United States.
Oh, Iowa, really? Okay.
But Ontario was the number 1 market for them in terms of win percentage. Iowa was the number 1 U.S. market.
So I can gather from that the bettors didn't do very well in Iowa if
exactly
if the books did well in Iowa.
Yes.
Okay.
A couple state benchmarks to hit. We have South Dakota passing $9 million in all-time handle, $6 million in the year-to-date handle 2022. Wyoming reported its third straight month of at least $1 million in adjusted gaming revenue and at least $100,000 in taxes. Small numbers, but for those states, those are pretty good months.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
And last but not least, we can't do a number segment without talking about New York.
Yep.
As we all know, New York passed a $1 billion mark in handle for the 10th time with their November month.
Mm-hmm.
But also...
Not even a full year, by the way.
No.
January 8th,
Yeah.
New York started, and this is how well they're doing. Not even a full year. It's
10
amazing.
out of 11 months, they've passed the $1 billion mark in terms of monthly handle.
New York should have some kind of special thing
Yes.
on January 8th. They should do something, just to celebrate the 1-year anniversary.
But the one interesting part about New York's weekly results, and maybe this is why some states don't do it weekly, because really you focus on some of these numbers per week here. They had a hold, the week ending December 18th, they had a hold of 2.7% for the operators.
Right?
That's horrible.
Well, it's horrible for the books.
It's great for the bettors.
Great for the bettors. Good. A lot of educated bettors in the New York market.
Well, it also tells me that when you see that kind of that low hold, more bettors are going to come back the next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what New York
they should be
probably once a
promoting
week.
this like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a terrible week for the books. Great job, bettors. You're really making a lot of money. Come bet with us some more.
Exactly. It should be a PR campaign.
I know, it absolutely should be.
But the low hold ended 10 straight weeks of $10 million or more in tax revenue. Also resulted in, let's see, I want to get this right here, $5.0 million in taxes.
Wow.
For that week.
Good for
The
them.
lowest point.
Well, look, even the lowest point's really, really good. And that's for the week. Too.
That's for the week,
I mean, it's just.
Oh, no.
I say good for them because even when they're lowest point, they're really good.
They're still better than some other states out there. So
sure. That's probably better than a month in some states.
Again, I think one week out of a month like this just generates more customers to follow in a couple of weeks. So, but we'll see what they do. I mean, we'll have more information as we do next week's show. So that's it for the numbers. Let's head on over to some deals. A couple of deals to talk about this week. Actually, one terminating deal and one new deal. PointsBet. Everyone was talking about the deal they had with Drew Brees, especially when they did the Lightning commercial.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting. But PointsBet has terminated its agreement with Drew Brees.
Okay.
He became the coach of the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yep.
An assistant coach.
Yeah. Well, that's his alma mater.
That's his alma mater.
Good for him.
And they terminated the contract because, and this is their statements, due to regulatory, legal compliance, responsible gaming, and sports betting integrity questions.
Sure, absolutely.
And you know what? That was perfectly reasonable, and it was great to see a company acting responsibly for that.
Yeah.
I mean, how long was that going? That was, 2 years with Drew Brees?
Was it 2 years?
I
I
think
don't
it was
know.
2 years.
I don't know, but
because I remember seeing the first one where he was in the bar with everybody, and they started talking about live your bet life.
You live your bet life.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this, but it's one of those things. They have some of the worst slogans for sports betting. Live your bet life. I don't know what that means. And then I had to read one for Caesars, and it was. I kept saying "be like a Caesar" because that's what I looked at and it was on the page. But it's bet like a Caesar. Bet like a Caesar.
Bet like a Caesar, or win like a Caesar, whatever it was. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of different. But I understand the live your bet life because to take on live your best life.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
It took me a second to connect that phrase.
Are they still using that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I saw PointsBet's new commercial with
the guy in the toilet.
No, that was second to the last.
That was a very interesting way to do that commercial.
Paige Spiranak, who's on the golf course, who's dancing on the green. That was the last. I just saw it today. Was it PointsBet commercials? Well, I've seen a lot of these things in the morning news. I watch the New Jersey morning news, and it's just. either you see betting and gambling commercials or Broadway show commercials. That's the bulk of our morning commercials in New Jersey.
I just saw it 3 times this morning before we started taping, the PlayStar Casino commercial.
Yeah, I've never heard of PlayStar, by the way.
One
Is
of the
that an
better ones
online?
out
That's an
there.
online casino, right?
It's new to the country, but it's one of the better ones out there.
I think I asked you, I said, are they legal? He said, yeah, they're licensed.
Yeah, they're licensed in New Jersey.
So they're an online casino,
They're
right?
an online casino.
And then another big thing that is PokerStars is advertising constantly, because I guess the big news now is poker players in New Jersey and poker players in Michigan can now play each other for real money poker.
And I think they're somehow linked to the Canadian version too now.
I don't think so. I have to check.
There's something about the Canadian side too with that.
I play a lot of online poker, but I don't play on PokerStars, which I want to start because it's some pretty cool stuff.
PokerStars, you hearing that?
I WSOP. I have Borgata, and I have BetMGM Poker. I have 3 of those on my phone. So now I'm going to, and then WSOP is the only one that has a deal with Nevada. So I'm playing Nevada players. Now, if I join PokerStars, which I think I will, I'm going to be playing Michigan players.
The other deal to talk about, we have Bet99. We talked about them last week. They did a deal with the NHL. This week, we're going to be talking about the deal they did with the Post Media Network in Canada.
Okay.
Post Media Network.
I know so little about the media in Canada.
Well,
so.
Post Media is a series of sites, different lifestyle
I know
sites.
Rogers Media, that's about it.
Well, this is just lifestyle sites, all different kinds. They have news, they have entertainment.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole variety.
Oh, all right, good.
What they're going to be launching with Bet99, or they have launched, I should say, is Betting Essentials. It's a section that's going to be on all their platforms.
Good.
And
good.
Bet99 is going to be preparing content for them and giving them expert advice, quote unquote expert advice.
Great.
I hate saying expert advice because it's just they're guys talking about what their opinions are on the sports betting industry and picks and all that. And they're going to also be focusing on responsible gambling as well.
That's good.
So it's good to see that. And according to Post Media, they're going to be doing other deals in the sports betting industry as well. So we'll see how that grows. But that's it for the deal segment this week. Let's head on over to some industry updates.
You know what I'm saying? For everybody. Oh. Game starts at 20, bet slip is empty. I got to call KG. KG, what up?
I got nothing for you, Fox.
Come on. What you got, huh?
It is spa day, Jamie. You don't interrupt spa day.
Okay. Gracie, what's up? I need some tips. Jamie, you want a tip? Yeah. No. Come on, somebody. Jalen, what's up, man? You want a tip? Yeah. You really want a tip? I really need some tips.
Don't call somebody on live TV, Jamie Foxx.
Well, you answered. Have other friends anyway. Marshawn, Barry, holla.
Jamie Foxx. Hey, what's up with it, Fox?
Listen, I need some tips.
I'm like L.A.
L.A.?
No, Dallas.
Dallas
not the
Dallas?
best. We gotta get to Miami. How about Detroit? Nah, Barry over there.
You know what? I'm gonna call y'all right now. Vanessa, I need your help.
I got a tip for you. Always go with your gut.
I like that. Going with my gut. Let's go with our gut.
Well, as we're airing this, the Ohio sports betting industry has already launched. It launched on January 1st at 12:01 a.m. According to the Ohio Casino Control Commission, they had been given regulatory approval for a dozen retail books, or I should say a dozen retail locations.
Okay.
And 16 online digital platforms to launch on January 1st. They got a couple others that haven't launched yet. Bet Fanatics and Underdog Sportsbook both have initial approval, but they did not launch yet. They'll launch at some point. And the fact that the industry has over 1,000 sports betting kiosks in the works, they're going to be launching whenever they launch.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. We had news from Giant Eagle and Kroger grocery stores. They do have plans to put sports betting kiosks in their stores, but they have not put them in on New Year's Day. They're going to roll them out sometime in the spring, if not late first quarter of 2023.
Let me tell you something. I love the idea of kiosks. I mean, New Jersey, we can bet on anything in the world and things like that, but, we don't have kiosks in department stores or grocery stores or convenience stores.
I'm actually waiting for somebody to come up with a combination ATM and sports betting
by the way,
where you can actually deposit and get money out at the same time.
That's certainly,
certainly
you
doable.
call that an impulse buy, I guess, because
the kiosk?
Yeah, because you think about it, you have your cell phone with you all the time,
Yes.
so you can bet anytime you want. It's just one of those things. When you see a kiosk, you think about maybe betting, and so I guess that would be an impulse thing. If you're standing in line in a grocery store, that would be an interesting if they were allowed. I wonder how much the handle would increase by that. So,
well, I'm just curious to see who would use the kiosk versus, like you just said, if they got a mobile book on their phones or their tablets, do you really need the kiosk? But again, it's one of those things where if you don't have an account and you want to give it a shot, that's where the impulse buy comes in.
Or if you're from out of state and you're visiting and you don't have an account, you can do that. But one of those things, and let me tell you something, I know they're done for protection, and I'm glad it's there, but that 2-tier authentication thing,
it's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass. I mean, geez, I know
why
you need it,
and you do need it,
and I'm glad it's there, and it only takes one time for something to happen to your account. So don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's there, but it's a pain in the ass. So,
well, the one thing I'm waiting to see with these supermarkets is whether or not they tie the kiosks into their loyalty cards to get points for shopping.
That'd be good.
That would probably be the key to getting them being successful. You ready to talk about a couple firsts and openings? We have Resorts World Hudson Valley opening.
Yes, Hudson Valley has a new casino. Has its first casino,
in the Newburgh Mall.
Yeah,
it's a strip mall. Yeah, casino. It's going to have a sports betting bar in it.
Okay.
So kind of interesting. I'm curious, very curious to see it.
Going up to New England, I always take the Tappan Zee Bridge. I call it the Tappan Zee, but it's the Mario Cuomo Bridge, and I always drive through Sleepy Hollow or Tarrytown. That's what my that was what I was asking people. Hey, how close is that to Tarrytown or Sleepy Hollow?
It's a little further up than that.
Because that could be a good, kind of stopping point instead of that's just kind of out of the way from Boston. It's not a straight line to Boston there.
No, you got to get off and you got to go a little further north than Tarrytown.
It's up the Hudson River though.
It's
on the Hudson
It's in
River.
Newburgh.
Is that on the Hudson River? It's on the
close enough.
Okay.
Close enough. It's
All
called the Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
So. But again, it's going to have, what do they have here? Let's see, 50,000 square foot property.
Okay.
1,200 slot machines and electronic table games.
Nice.
The electronic table, no, not live dealer stuff.
Those are the ones with the video of the dealer. Mostly women, I see. But I think there was a guy dealer, too, that they have a video of. It's strange.
They're also like the lightning roulette things you see. Like, what's the place up in Massachusetts? Plainridge.
Yeah.
They have the lightning roulette table where there's no dealer.
Yeah, well, I see one at Parks Casino, too.
Parks has them, too.
In Ben Salem, Pennsylvania.
And they're going to have a sports betting bar. They're going to be employing locals only for a while anyway.
Okay.
I don't know how much longer that's going to. 250 right off the bat.
Well, what counts as a local? I mean,
someone in the Hudson Valley.
How many towns over is a local? So
Hudson Valley's pretty big. I mean, it goes all the way up to Rhinebeck and also down, all that stuff. So we'll see with that. And also the walls are decorated with murals depicting historic landmarks in the Hudson Valley region.
Oh, a lot of Sleepy Hollow stuff or Headless Horseman?
I didn't see any Sleepy Hollow.
Washington Irving things?
Well, you got to remember who built it, Genting. So they're not a United States company, but they are. I think more of it's along the lines of where Newburgh is.
But seriously, I really can't wait to visit this.
They've got the Bear Mountain Bridge, the Newburgh Beacon Bridge is also one of the murals.
Oh, okay.
No word on whether Tarrytown's part of all that.
There's lots of bridges in Hudson County, so you'll see a lot of murals of bridges, I would assume. So a lot of covered bridges.
Yes, you ready for the next opening and the very first of the for the United States?
Okay.
We have a DC strip club.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Let me put it the right
Gentlemen's
way.
Club.
DC Gentlemen's Club called the Cloak
So
Room.
where are you going tonight, gentlemen?
Yes.
I'm going to a stripper club.
We've
Stripper club. I just called it a stripper club. Strip club.
We've got the Cloakroom Gentlemen's Club in Washington, D.C.
Talk about a place I want to visit.
Now I do. Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yes. And also they have the over-under sportsbook rooftop lounge. Two places, one building. They're part of the same company.
Wait, what lounge? Rooftop?
You have the Cloakroom Gentlemen's Club.
Okay.
And on the roof, it's the over-under sportsbook rooftop lounge.
Is that only opened in the summertime, or it gets a little cold?
I think they may have heaters and coverings.
Okay.
And all that. I've never been to the Cloakroom. So
I'm more concerned about the women because they're not wearing too much. So,
I don't
it
think
could be it'd be cold up there.
They don't have the dancers.
Oh, they don't have the
This is
dancers
just-
up there?
No, this is just a lounge.
So.
You want to go see the girls stay
I
in
think you
stay
need
in
something
the
like that
Cloakroom.
in Florida or the South to do a strip club rooftop thing.
Yeah, especially like when Atlantic City tried it with.
Well, I don't think that was.
What was that? With Tropicana had what was this?
No, Tropicana. I think it was.
It was Taj.
Yeah, but that's not Tropicana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Taj.
But,
I misspoke. Sorry.
What was that? Scores.
Scores had an outdoor.
Yeah, I don't think it's
something.
there anymore.
No, they're gone.
So,
they're gone. But we have Cloakroom has partnered with Ellis Game Technology.
Good.
To do sports betting kiosks in the Gentlemen's Club.
So no windows. We're talking about kiosks.
These are all kiosks.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
And Ellis has been doing this around the country, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
They are one of the ones who are leading the way in the restaurant kiosk.
Okay. So exactly
industry.
where is this in Washington?
The address, and I'll give them a free plug here. Let me see if I have it here. 476 K Street Northwest in Washington, D.C.
All right. You worked in Washington. Where do you know where that is?
Yes.
Or okay, all right.
K Street is a pretty big street, especially in the Northwest.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations, that's the first time that's ever happened in the United States.
Yeah, go and check it out.
We're going to have a strip club, gentleman's club.
They can call it a strip club, I guess.
I guess so. But a gentleman's club is the first one in the United States. Also, they're going to have what's called the Cloak Book.
Okay.
So
wait. Are they actually talking about windows?
There may be
like
a mobile attached to this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
What a great idea, though.
Yeah. So
you can actually go to a strip club, and I'm going to call it a strip club.
I'm saying there may be a mobile. The way they're talking,
you can
about
actually
it
go
sounds
to
like,
a gentleman's club and make some money.
Yes. They just got their license last week. They had their soft opening on Thursday of last week. They were open to the public on Friday. So congratulations. Joint venture is up and running. And
that sounds great.
Ellis is just breaking ground everywhere with this stuff.
I think it's a great idea.
Yep. So. Let's finish up with the legislative roundup. Couple of notes to hit in terms of Ohio and Massachusetts before we get into Missouri and Oklahoma real quick. Ohio Casino Control Commission, prior to the launch, sent out a stern warning letter to all their operators. Stay with the advertising rules that are in place.
All right.
It was very interesting because they said that they were seeing, the Casino Control Commission was noticing some loose following of the rules. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
You know, the 800 number was not conspicuously displayed. That sort of the promotions were kind of not the right size in terms of ad requirements, audio requirements they were hearing weren't matching up with what they were told to do.
Okay.
So the radio commercials.
Okay.
So they were given the stern warning beforehand, and seems like everybody's going to give them a little break at the beginning here.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens there.
Well, it's like early so in the process. So, and by the way, for doing this show and doing a broadcast radio show, the books have been very good.
Yes.
With guiding us in commercials and what we have to say and what we have to do and the proper phone numbers to call for problem gambling situations. So they've been very good. So.
Although doing a national show, you have to have the different state numbers.
That's what's tough. You have to do the different numbers for different states. So,
but again, anyway, congratulations on the launch again for Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Massachusetts, they set the date as January 31st
for
the launch of their retail books. That means Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens with the mobile industry. They're still trying to figure out the launch date for the mobile industry.
Weren't they really focusing on, I'm talking about Massachusetts now, the every year there's something called the Bean Pot.
They wanted it for the Bean Pot.
Yes. They're not going to get it for the Bean Pot?
They are going to get it for the Bean Pot.
By the way, the Bean Pot is the tournament. It's the college hockey tournament with the 4 local big schools, which is Harvard, Boston University, Boston College, and Northeastern.
Well, the Bean Pot is their version of the Frozen Four. The NCAA has the hockey championship called the Frozen Four.
Yeah, I actually have a T-shirt from the 50th anniversary of the Bean Pot. I don't know where it is though.
Well, I remember
I might have it up. I might have it up in Boston.
I remember when we started out in broadcast radio back in Boston. We had to do a Bean Pot commercial in our show.
Oh, did we?
Yes.
I didn't even.
I'm very well acquainted with the Bean Pot.
Who read that? Did I read that? I don't even know. I don't even remember reading that.
I believe you read it.
Okay.
But the language had to go through so many different variations.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a fun commercial to do. Okay. Let me put it that way. But very familiar with how the Bean Pot is.
Yep. 2
pre-filings to talk about. Well, 2 pre-filings in Missouri, and also a statement coming out of Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. That's the only way I could phrase that.
I like the pre-filings. I mean, what, you didn't file it, or what? You filed it before you filed it?
Well, before a legislative session begins, there's a period of time where you can actually pre-file bills that get put into the queue in terms of what order they're discussed in the legislative year. And believe me, I did that when I was working in D.C. for the senators that I worked for and all that. So it's not that hard to do, but it does create some interesting discussions before the legislative begins.
Okay.
We have 2 Missouri senators pre-filed bills. The second one is kind of interesting because it has some similarities to the first pre-filing, and I'm going to mispronounce this guy's name, Senator Tony Lutkemeyer. I apologize, Senator, for mispronouncing your name there, but he pre-filed a sports betting bill. It's the second one, 10% tax rate. And Missouri's kind of interesting because they have the gambling boats.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they have provisions in there for the gambling boats to have their sports betting licenses, but also online platforms attached to them.
Okay.
And
so do you think Missouri will be a state this year, 2023, will have sports betting?
I think if you look at what these bills are in the pre-filing, they're going to create some kind of friction. It'll be very interesting to see how they work this out because one bill has a good amount of money in one area. The other bill has a good amount of money in a different area.
Okay. Well,
and they're kind of butting heads in certain areas. So we'll see exactly where the session goes with that. And over in Oklahoma, we have the Oklahoma governor, Kevin Stitt. He told reporters that they are actively looking into sports betting, and it possibly could happen this year for Oklahoma.
Okay.
So we'll see how quickly they move. Oklahoma has to get the native tribes back to the table to execute new compacts for this.
Okay.
But again, really see what happens when
Great.
things happen in the new legislative year. That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Please keep the press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. If you've been following along on TV, our ticker is moving ahead at full steam underneath us as you watch us. And also, after the show is released, you will see a full print version of the book report that will cover these stories as well as other stories we did not have a chance to hit in the show. Head on over to turnpikesports.us and click on the blog button, and you'll see the print version there.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.